Game 5 between the Leafs and Lightning goes tomorrow night. But there was practice today, boys, and a lot of news coming out. One being Michael Bunting appears to be the odd man out, according to Sheldon Keefe, saying he's going to get back in the lineup, just not tomorrow night. Is this mind games? Is
I
it
wonder.
real?
What do you think of this gamesmanship here?
It could. I don't see the reason in saying I get what you get the mind games. You said I don't know, and you're playing it off like putting it up in limbo like that. He could play, he couldn't play. Then I would get it. But saying he's not gonna play right now, I think that means he's not gonna play tomorrow. I think. Look, we've seen Matthew Nyes. You're driving the Matthew Nyes bandwagon right now. He's been playing very well, right? And it's hard to take him out of the lineup because he hasn't done anything for him to lose his spot. Michael Bunting did something that took him out of the lineup, right? He made the decision to take that hit on Erik Chernak. He took himself out of the lineup. He cost his team, right? And therefore, he lost his spot on the roster, right? And now if a player messes up or has a bad game tomorrow, okay, then you can put him back in. But right now, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, I mean, if you're going to play mind games, you wouldn't be doing it around Michael Bunting. Good player and all, but he's not really a difference maker necessarily. At the same time, do you want to put Bunting into that environment against a Tampa team that want blood because of what he did to Chernak, which has been a huge part of this series so far, right? Chernak not playing there. Do you want to ignite that passion in that team? It's best to keep him away right now, try and do this in 6 games, and then worry about it down the line.
Yeah.
Or 5 games, sorry, I should say.
According to the lines at practice, he's not in the first, second, third, or fourth. He's an extra with Wayne Simmons. He was wearing a white jersey, so you can make of this what you will. Bunting did come out and say, listen, he's like, I want to play. When he calls my number, I'm ready to go. Obviously, there'll be a lot of talk surrounding whether or not it was the right decision. If he doesn't play and the Leafs lose or if the Leafs win, this will go on and on and on until he probably gets back into the lineup. I think
if they lose tomorrow, right, that kind of opens the gate. Okay, he can come back in because they didn't win the game. Now, if they win, which they will. The series is over, as I've said yesterday. The series is done. The Toronto Maple Leafs are in the second round. Then it depends on the matchup base then, okay? If you're going up against Boston, which you probably will, then how does Michael Bunting fit in your lineup against Boston?
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves right now, though, okay? Just let's not do that. I know you love doing that. Maybe, yes, the kiss of death right now.
I've been doing that in my head since Game 4.
I mean, it's been, over the last 24 hours, it's been from me dismantling the Leafs this summer to who's going to be the matchups against Boston in the next round.
It's told you, the series is over. They've won.
This is kind of negative to say. But if you look at some of the big moments in this Tampa series, maybe the biggest moment was Michael Bunting taking out Chernak.
Well, if you look at the goals they've scored against Vasilevsky, it's been with a great net presence, great tips, shots from the point. If he's in there, it's going to be hell to pay.
And you have a hurt Hedman, who's still been good, but clearly hurt.
It's going to be interesting to see.
And you're missing a number 2 defenseman. Yeah. That play that Bunting made on Chernak, he's saying it was a mistake. He didn't want to do that. Yeah. But at the same time...
You're saying it's a smart move and you encourage that kind of...
You are a scumbag, is what you're trying to say.
No, I did not say that.
Bulletin board material, Tampa Bay Lightning right here.
No,
Public enemy number 1.
Me, I'm already in Maroon's locker. A picture of me. He's going to kill me once the series is over with.
There's so many fights right now between Albert and
the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I don't know why this is. But seriously, Bunting taking him out has given the advantage slightly to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
There's no doubt.
Right?
Yeah. They miss Chernak more than Toronto misses.
Absolutely.
100%. 100%.
As in a sick
There would be no question around Chernak getting back.
Yeah, and look, I'm interested to see what happens with Victor Hedman after this series is over or whenever Tampa's season ends, and what the state of that injury actually was.
You're right.
Right? That to me, because it has to be something. He's looked good, but he doesn't look like Victor Hedman. Best defenseman of his
games. He'd take control.
Exactly.
Take over.
Yeah, exactly. Last year
he did in Game 3 though. In Game 3, he
did. But like when I watched Victor Hedman last year, the way he would just take the puck up the ice and just control the game. Yeah. I don't see that anymore from Victor Hedman, right? Sergachev's played well, but he's also taken a lot of costly penalties as well. That is why I know this series is over, because the Tampa Bay defense core has been depleted.
Producer Sean's got something to say. I'm assuming about the Tampa Bay defense core.
Hey guys.
That's nice.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Thanks for having me on the show, as always.
Honestly, you know how I feel about you wearing that hat right now.
I know.
You haven't worn it at all.
I know,
up until today.
You can't talk about it on air, so that's great for me. So a few things. I think not putting Bunting in is a mistake. I know you guys are saying that the Leafs are up 3-1, and if it's not broke, don't fix. I think that was Justin who said that. But isn't it kind of broken?
Yes.
Like aren't the Leafs sort of underperforming?
Yes. Well, remove the results from the game. And Tampa's been the best team in this series. They should be up
in 8 or
3-1.
12 periods.
But here's the
by
other
far
thing.
the
But
best.
here's the other thing I want to ask you too, Sean, and you guys. Can you trust Michael Bunting in a playoff situation like that again?
He says he trusts him.
I don't know. Can you though? Like,
Listen, he plays on the edge, but he's not known for dirty hits.
but he's known for. Do you want him to take a costly penalty where he goes over the edge and takes a penalty in a scrum or something like that? Puts the Leafs down and Tampa take advantage of that. Is that? Can you trust Michael Bunting in that situation? Right.
It's true. When you look at this Leaf teams in terms of penalty minutes over the regular season, it goes Shen 1 and Bunting number 2. But if you look at penalties drawn in the NHL, he's second behind Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah.
And
So if he can get out there and get this Leaf power play out there, it's been 35% pretty good. It's not the Oilers,
Yeah,
57% by the way.
Yeah, no.
But the Leafs power play has been pretty good once they break the zone. If you can get a guy out there who gets under the skin of these guys and they want retaliation possibly, it could benefit the Toronto Maple Leafs offense.
Yeah, that's my counterpoint, Albert. Is if you put him in the lineup, what does it do to the Tampa mentality? They start taking dumb penalties.
They
and
could.
try and
They
get
could.
revenge, right?
I'll also add that before the series began, there's no debate whether Bunting should be in that lineup. Right. Guaranteed he's in the lineup. Now that's before Nyes, showed himself obviously, but before then he was guaranteed to be starting at some place in those top 4 lines, right? Right. So what's changed? Okay, they're up 3-1, but they haven't played very well. So I say you put him back in there. I don't know at the expense of whom. That's a question, right? Is it Aston Reese who's done nothing wrong really? He's doing his job on that 3rd or 4th line. He's hitting bodies.
Yeah.
Lafferty's shown great speed, great pace. So I think whoever loses his spot to Bunting is unfortunate, perhaps, but I would put a 23 goal scorer in there.